Welcome to ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najieb. I'm one of your hosts, along with Lennice Najieb, who's always been a guest host. We're so thankful you can come on the show.
Glad to be here.
And this time I didn't drag him. He's actually liking it a little bit more and more. We have plenty for you on this program, ONME Sunday Mornings. And we want to let you know that ONME Sunday Mornings is a collaboration of the California Advocate newspaper, Valley Black Talk Radio, and AMPTV. And we've talked about this collaboration before and the importance of being able to have the presence of the black media, especially in Central Valley.
Yes, it's been great in Central Valley to be able to collaborate with all the black media here. And we've been focusing on getting the information out to the community to the best of our ability.
And we'll continue to do that. In fact, on Mondays, you can listen to Valley Black Talk Radio on 88.1 FM KFCF or online at bbtradio.org. And Valley Black Talk Radio has those hard-hitting issues. Mm-hmm. You know Candy Swazi, right?
Yes.
So he'll be on this Monday along with Cato and Shirley Rowe, and every Monday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, the California Advocate newspaper, we have to support our local community newspaper. It's been around for 40-plus years.
That's correct.
A lot of people don't know that story, and we want to be able to tell you that story on AMPTV. Mm-hmm. And we know that Les Kimber, Mark Kimber, and the entire family have really worked tirelessly to make sure we get representation from the community. And that's a big part of it.
Yes, without the California Advocate, California Advocate is a foundation of where we AMPTV stand on, and also what Valley Black Talk Radio stand on. So it helped us get out there, and it's the premier newspaper that helped us get our information as well.
And Valley Black Talk Radio is, I want to say, is a rendition of Woody Miller, who started KLIP, the first radio station, black radio station here in the Valley. And in ode to him, Valley Black Talk Radio continues its legacy, and we will continue to give you that news talk radio that you've been missing. Meanwhile, I want to talk about some of those new ONME businesses, or new ONME organizations that have come aboard. And one of those was the BUST, it's a new gospel group. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, BUST, as it stands for, is the Brothers Under Spiritual Testimony, Al Boyd and also Michael Curtin.
Okay.
So them two are, and actually it's a group of 6 musicians and 4 singers, and they have an exciting album that's coming out soon. I can't tell you the date yet, but it's coming out soon.
It's coming. They tell us it's coming.
So just look forward to that gospel.
And so we'll be hearing more about BUST on Valley Black Talk Radio and a full report about who they are in California Advocate newspaper. I'm really looking forward to that. Yes. We also have Watts Family Grill. They're back on the scene. There was a hiatus for a while. And so people want to get some good grub. They want to be able to get some home cooking. Where can they go?
They can go right there on Blackstone and McKinley. That's the cross street on 4th.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
You tasted the food?
Yes, I have.
Okay, all right.
So it's on 1448 North Blackstone.
Okay.
1448 North Blackstone.
So definitely check out Watts Family Grill. They're definitely a part of the ONME family.
Yes.
You know, we've been looking at Black History Month, and we've been taking some of the facts from this book. And this is something at the African American Historical Cultural Museum of the San Joaquin Valley, located on 1857 Fulton Street. It'd be nice if you remember. Definitely become a member of the museum. They have plenty of books. They have a children's library, and they also have a library for adults. And one of the books that we have been really featuring this month is The Chronology of African American History. And if you take a look at the screen, I found this to be very interesting. Short news, but interesting news, that in June 7th, and this was in 1930, respecting Negro demands, the New York Times announced that the N in the word Negro would be henceforth capitalized in its pages. I thought that was interesting because nowadays, it's almost like we don't care because black is not always capitalized. Some newspaper, I don't think we're very uniformed on that. Some people capitalize it, some people don't. But the fact that that was a time period where you look at the inequities amongst African Americans, amongst black people, and being able to have the N word capitalized, I guess, made us more of who we are. and so it's just ironic when I look at how history has definitely changed. And we'll be giving you more tidbits of that history as we continue. President Barack Obama came to visit the Valley, talk about the drought here in California. Unfortunately, yes, okay, let's talk about the issue. That's an issue in itself.
Yes, it is.
We are headed toward the drought, and we do need to do some things about that. Another issue, though, is not being able to have everyone invited as far as the black media to be able to cover that event. I find that a total injustice.
Yes, I noticed, had to go through so many barriers to even try to get the camera in front of the president. Of course, he has to be secured through the CIA and FBI and so forth and Secret Services. But it would be great to also have the black media represented there.
It would have been nice. And however, we did get our coverage of President Barack Obama. I really wish, I'm just saying, I love the president, as I respect all presidents, but I wish he would have really pushed the issue. It was Black History Month, number one.
Yes.
Not only did you not have black media representation of that from the Central Valley, but then you also didn't have any of the black leaders from the Central Valley or any of the black farmers. Let's take it a step further. We know there's a drought issue, but why not have the black farmers involved? Why not have a better representation of everybody? Inclusiveness.
Yeah, that's true. I was reading an article a while back also, going to a different subject, is Michael Jackson, one of our famous artists, probably the famous entertainers around, and that was the major complaint. There was no black media present even at the Michael Jackson funeral.
And a lot of people think it's because we don't cover it. And, you know, we might be short-staffed here and there, but we always try to find a way to cover events like that. I just don't understand why we couldn't be there with President Barack Obama. And this is a continual problem when we look at nationwide how black media is being treated, and it's something we're going to have to really explore and have more of a forum to discuss that.
Yes.
You know, why is it that we are considered less than, or we shouldn't be considered less than? We're just as much as reporting and getting the information out there, but we wanted people to know that it's a concern because we're trying to get the information out there and the right information to everyone.
Yeah, that's correct.
But we just wanted to point that out. Well, we also want to talk to you about, before we talk about upcoming events, we want to let you know that we've been celebrating Black History Month, and we've been here at the African American Historical and Cultural Museum here in the Central Valley, 1857 Fulton Street. Normally we're at Cafe Aroma. In fact, there's this new drink called the Tony. You're going to have to try it when you come to Fulton, our Fultonia complex, 550 North Fulton. And it's like a little shake. I don't want to shake it too much. But when you shake it, it's like all the foam, this like lathery, sugary foam. You haven't gotten to try this, so
Yeah,
I'll let you try this,
right
okay?
now.
And it's really for that coffee drinker. And it's
I'm not
interesting.
really a coffee drinker.
Well, that's okay. You might like it anyway. But interesting story is it's a guy named Tony that came and showed me how to do this drink.
Tastes good.
All right.
I like it.
So something about the sweetness. We definitely wanted you to try that at Cafe Aroma. And again, our shows will be back
Boy,
at
this
Cafe
tastes
Aroma.
good.
I told you. It's really delicious.
Golly, this is the first time I ever tasted it.
After the break, we'll talk about some of those upcoming events here in Central Valley. And we're going to have our Speak Up Youth Central Valley Forum that's coming up. And Taylor Kimber, who's one of our new additions to our ONME Sunday Mornings, who will be hosting that segment. So stay tuned.
Very exciting news. AMP TV has now partnered with the California Advocate newspaper and Valley Black Talk Radio to bring you On Me, all in one media, one place, one price. Do business with us, you won't regret it. Hey, it's on me.
Welcome back to ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najieb. Along here is my co-host, I'll say guest host, Lennice Najieb. And we have been talking about, or going to talk about, some of those upcoming events happening here in the Valley and happening during Black History Month. One of the things we want to make sure we acknowledge is that there is a Fresno State Wall of Honor meeting here at the African American Museum on Tuesday, and that will be on February 25th. And that meeting is to talk about the Wall of Honor that they will be doing for Fresno State, the alumni. There's also on that Thursday, February 27th, the State Center Community College Wall of Honor, and that's a big event, and that's at 5:30 p.m. on that Thursday, and that's on the 27th. Now, standing room only, and the food is always good. And we always have Martha Taylor's cooking, so you don't want to miss that, and definitely want to make sure we acknowledge those honorees. And we'll talk more about them after they already honored. March 1st, there's a closing reception here at the African American Museum, and it's for the Art Nouveau exhibit that they have had, featuring some of the Fresno State students, and that definitely is open to the public. That'll be from 2 to 5 p.m. on March 1st here at the African American Museum. You want to talk about the State of Black Bakersfield?
Yes.
That's happening March 1st?
Yeah, this March 1st is the second annual State of African American.
First one is packed when we went down
Yeah,
there.
it was real packed.
Yeah.
It was good.
Ooh,
it was
standing
good.
room only.
Yes, I enjoyed it. So it's the second annual State of African American in Kern County is from 10:30 to 1:30 p.m. March 1st is free. Okay?
No
Remember
excuses. Get there.
It's free. They're going to be talking anywhere from business, health, law enforcement, fatherhood, religion, and education, and also our favorite topic, the media.
Perfect. And guess what? We will be there. So AMP TV will be there with our staffing to be able to cover that event.
Yes.
And be able to show it on television
That'd be great.
and online. So we want to make sure the community knows what's going on, because it's important for us to evaluate where we are as a community and how we can improve.
And let me make sure I let you know the address.
Okay.
It's Beal, B-E-A-L, Library, 701 Trixton Avenue.
Thank you. And we also want to talk about an event happening in Merced. It is the Black Arts Movement and its Influence, and that is a conference and a gala from February 28th to March 2nd. And this will be at the University of California, Merced, and you must register to attend, so find out more information. It is free, though, and you can go to, it's free for the Merced students, I believe, and there is a cost for registration of $40. It's free to UC Merced students and Merced County youth, so that, I mean, I'm sorry for the youth that might live in Fresno or in Kern County, but it's definitely an event to attend. And you can find out more information about that on the UC Merced website. Things that are happening, you know, we forgot to talk about the event we went to in Bakersfield, the Chevron Black History Celebration event. There's over 125 African Americans at the event, everyone in one room.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on that?
I thought that was incredible to have the black community within Chevron organize this. This is not just for Bakersfield. They do this nationwide. And they expose everybody to the challenges.
Or they honor them also, too.
They expose and they honor. I noticed they was honoring Booker T. Washington. And I was like, what? They going into Booker T back in the day? So I was very impressed on how they represent our black legends in the past, and I felt very privileged.
I was very excited to be there, and we tried. I wish we could be everywhere, but we just can't. But we were glad we were at that event, and I think that was a great representation, and Bakersfield really came out to show for that event.
I was very happy to see Chevron putting that exposure there and supporting African American and African American History Month.
I definitely agree with you on that.
I was very happy to see that.
Another event happening here at the African American Museum is March 6th. They have the Stitches for the Soul, and that's a quilting exhibit. You know, quilting was the way we would tell our history. But if we look at how our past was woven into fabric and how we were able to express ourselves and be able to tell our story, quilting is a major part of our history.
Yes. A lot of the stories are in the quilting. They used another form as they were seeing in slavery to warn how we're going to escape. But in quilting, it was another way of communicating. We were, of course, not allowed to read nor write. So they found ways to communicate through songs and also through the fabric. So I thought that was very impressive.
Definitely want to check out that exhibit starting March 6th, and that's here at 1857 Fulton Street, here at the African American Historical Cultural Museum of the San Joaquin Valley. We'll be giving you more information as that comes on. You know, an event that's coming up next week that's very important is this vote, February 27th. And those people who are familiar in Fresno County, the Fulton, downtown, we've always talked about downtown Fresno and the need to really rebuild that area and to have more traffic coming downtown. Interesting topic this is, because people are concerned about the funds, and they're looking at who's going to fund this, and is this coming out of our pocket? They talk about the Transportation Investment Generating Recovery. Those are called Tiger Grant. Apparently this Tiger Grant, the funds from that can only be used for this purpose. The other part, I think there's a $250,000 that's being paid by the property owners that are in that area. The Tiger Grant covers some of it, property owners, and this Tiger Grant is supposed to be government funded, and the federal government, if we don't use the money, it goes back. So there's a two-way street going on here, because people are worried about the concerns. It's a $15.9 million project, first of all, to be able to put a road, a street, not breaking up Fulton, but really up, trying to build and trying to rebuild so that people will come down there. I was having an interesting conversation with a Fresno native, born and raised here. In fact, he's one of our hosts that we'll be having on the show. Very insightful what he had to say.
And who is he?
I'll just say it, Feather to Wise.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things he talked about is you can't change people. You have to help them see the vision. You have to help them, but it's a process. It can't be overnight. So even if we put this $15.9 million into this project, who's to say that people are still going to go downtown? Now, he gave an example that I can't give over TV, but he essentially said it's really in the presentation. If businesses in the Fulton area are not going to upgrade their presentation of how they appear to the public, then it doesn't matter what they do to downtown. It doesn't really necessarily matter about the upgrades. Now, at the same time, these upgrades will help traffic to come more downtown. People will begin to be able to come down there and explore the other businesses.
So what do you mean by presentation? Well, we need to look more or less like River Park? Do we have to have a circus here, or do we have to have some sort of...
Well, okay, you can do all those shenanigans, but what will that do if the presentation around you is the same shabby building? And I'm not saying all the businesses look shabby there, but if businesses are not concerned about their presentation, how are they going to get customers? If you have it's different if you have a junkyard and that's expected, but if you have a food store and you have junk outside your store, that's a whole different issue. Okay,
so what's the other option? Okay, if they're going to put a certain amount of money into the Fulton area or the street area, and they trying to expose or get more traffic to that area, and you're saying the presentation, so what can they do to extend that? What is the solution?
Well, and that's the sad part, because we know that the Downtown Revitalization, the nonprofit organization, is doing its effort to go business to try to help the businesses upgrade from their presentation, from what they should do with marketing, to help them get more customers. I think it's going to take the business owner some re-education, and some people just need a little boost. They need a reality check. People need to know, what do I look like from the outside? And then businesses have to be willing to accept that constructive criticism. That's what it's going to take, because you can do all this remodeling, and then you still have the same businesses that may have a poor presentation model.
That's going to be
it might be as simple as cleaning your dirty windows.
That's going to be a tall feat for some. A lot of the business out there have not even a clue or understanding how to market themselves, let alone how to present themselves. Sometimes when you go into marketing, and as you quoted many times on this show, we can market a business, but now when those people come there, how they going to stick, how they're going to stay there.
Sure.
Because if they come there, even though they heard it through television, or they heard it through the newspaper, or they heard it through the radio, and they come in there and they say, oh, it stinks in here, or oh, the food is bad in here, or oh, it's filthy in here. Oh, I see a roach over here. So
that's gonna be a problem for me.
So they can come there, but they're not going to stay there. So we have to change.
So if we spend all this money, I'm just saying there has to be some type of mechanism to help the business owner. Even with this drink right here, I'm looking at this drink.
And I'm sipping in it right now as we talk.
So that was because I took constructive criticism from a coffee drinker who used to work at a coffee shop.
Okay.
We've got to accept the help. As small businesses, we just can't know everything. And I think that's what it's going to take, is a business owner understanding that they don't know everything, they might need some marketing help. They're going to need that assistance. But of course, if we had time for another show, we'd be able to discuss more of that. Because guess who's coming up? We have Taylor Kimber, who's going to be having the Speak Up Central Valley Youth Forum that's coming up after this break. And they're going to be talking about, from Black history, the thoughts from a youth perspective, HBCUs, of course, my alma mater, Hampton University, got to put that out there. And they're also going to be talking about a prevalent case dealing with the Michael Dunn trial. That's serious because we're talking about loud music. Do you deserve to get shot over that? And they will also be discussing some other items as well as the development. What is the youth agenda? What can help build Fresno from a youth perspective? So you are watching ONME Sunday Mornings. After the break, stay tuned to Taylor Kimber, who's going to have all the guests and host a panel along with Eric Payne. Remember that name? We had him on the last show.
Eric Payne.
That's a great guy right there. So Eric Payne, who's also guest hosting, and we will be right back.
Thanks.
My name is Taylor Kimber, and we're back here at ONME Sunday Mornings, and I am here. We are the Central Valley Youth Forum, and I am here with a very special guest, Mr. Eric Payne. He is trustee for State Community College District Area 2, and we have a special interview with a local high school student from Edison High, my alumni, and his name is Kyrie Brown, and we welcome you today. Are you excited to be here?
Yes, indeed.
Alrighty. So, Eric, I'm going to let you go ahead and take over.
So, really, we brought Kyrie onto the show today because Assembly Member Henry T. Perea has selected 5 outstanding individuals from the 31st Assembly District to recognize for Black History Month for the African American Heritage Awards that he puts on for the community. And these 5 individuals are recognized from education, law enforcement, health, and there's also a volunteer service award. John and Sarah Ford were the recipients this year for their outstanding service to the community. And Kyrie Brown is here with us this evening, and we want to learn a little bit more about Kyrie and the work that he's done in the community with his recognition as the Youth Award recipient. But Kyrie, tell us a little bit about your story, your amazing resume that you have that brought you to this honor that you're receiving. Well, one thing I can say that it was hard, like trying to build yourself up, growing up from a low-income neighborhood with a single parent. It can be hard at times. There's times where sometimes I just feel like I want to give up, but I have that nurture and that's good support from my mother, and that's the only reason how I was able to keep up and keep going at the stuff I do. Little stuff that I'm involved in. I'm involved in some clubs at school, Black Student Union, and I also serve as senior class treasurer for student council. But basically, it's always been my passion. It has always been my passion to see change in my community. So that's why I've been in part of many nonprofit organizations such as the Center for Multicultural Cooperation. And with that nonprofit organization, I serve on the Fresno Youth Council for Sustainable Communities.
And on that board, we basically talk about different policies that goes on in the city of California, and also throughout the state.
Now, through that work, you've been able to actually travel to Sacramento and present on different issues to the California State Legislature. What's that experience been like for you? I know that you've been able to address some of the hard-hit issues that we don't think young people really pay attention to today. You're looking at environmental air quality. You're looking at complete streets and active transit for our regional communities in some of the neighborhoods that you've mentioned. That are really distressed and disenfranchised. So tell me what that experience has been like for you presenting to a body of elected officials.
Well, it was a really good experience, actually. I remember my first time actually speaking in front of the different legislators. I was so nervous, but throughout the times when I went multiple times, I've just gotten used to it, and it has actually inspired me, because now I can see myself being an elected official for wherever I end up staying or wherever I end up going for college. But while we were traveling to Sacramento the different times, each time we traveled to Sacramento, we've always had a different objective. Either one objective would be to go and to gather up information from different cities throughout the state of California. And the second time when we visit Sacramento, we'll go and we'll actually go and lobby at the state capitol in Sacramento. And we've spoken on different issues such as land use, air quality, energy. And there was a time, this was my first time actually, when I went to visit Sacramento, and we spoke on the committee for land use, and our inputs and our ideas and information has actually helped the legislators that were in that committee to actually pass the bill, AB 547, I believe, is the bill.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's big stuff.
Really big.
I'm super impressed. Like, I wish I had your drive and motivation when I was in high school. Definitely some unique experiences that you've been able to have. Now, you're also, the resume doesn't stop there. You're also a board member with the California Healthcare Collaborative. So you're something like a youth program officer, where you've received funds from this organization, and you re-grant those funds to other youth from the community that have really great ideas in terms of the change that they want to see in their neighborhoods, and you see those resources into those ideas. Tell me about that experience.
Well, it's on the board. It's about 10 different youth. They're from the county of Fresno. But basically, the whole idea and objective for the Youth Advisory Board for the California Health Collaborative is to seek out resources to the community for substance abuse, so like alcohol, drugs. Basically, our main focus is teens. And what we do is we give out grants, and the highest amount of grant that a community or organization can receive is a $25,000 grant, and that money is actually coming from the county of Fresno. Okay. And but the selection process can vary by different applicant. Basically, we're looking for different organizations that are trying to help with the substance abuse in teens. So basically, people who actually care about teens that are on these type of issues to try to get them off of it. Basically, that's the whole objective.
Wow.
And Kyrie, well, I have to say, that is impressive. Yeah. And we are going to hear more back with Kyrie and two other lovely young ladies from Edison High School as well. We have them here for our forum, and me and Eric are going to grill them and get inside the mind of a young person today. Well, stay tuned.
African Americans buying power, 8% of Fresno County. ONME is the one agency where you can find out what people watch, what they read, and what they listen to. Check out ONME.
I am Taylor Kimber, back with our Speak Up Central Valley Youth Forum, and we are going to jump right into our first topic. And I just want to introduce my guests today, and they are Kyrie Brown, who you just had a lovely interview with, very intelligent young man, and Jamila Rice is here as well, and Ariane Patterson is here too, and they all go to Edison High School, and I'm so proud that I get to interview young people who went to school and share the same issues as I did when I was a senior back at Edison as well. So Black History Month, I want to jump right into it. What does it mean to you? And I'm going to just go into a broad range of that. And what I mean is, what does it mean to you as far as, how do you feel about Black History Month? Should we just have it once a month? Should it be every month? Should it even be a month? Should we even notice it? What do you guys feel about it? And I'm going to start with Ariane Patterson.
Okay, well, I think Black History Month is not just a month thing. I think it's something that we should celebrate throughout the year. I like that we celebrate it within the month and we show it a lot of spirit and pride, but I think we need to do a lot more with Black history because as youth, going to Edison High School, I've noticed that we don't really celebrate it as much as we should. And thanks to programs like the African American Museum and different African American groups, we do get a chance to support it in the community, but as on the school side and education, we really don't support it, which I think that we should change.
Jamila and Kyrie, do you guys want to weigh in on that?
I believe that Black history is American history, and people forget that,
Right.
especially other minorities. There was a situation where a student brought up, well, we don't celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month as we do Black History Month at Edison High School.
Wow.
I just believe that Black History Month includes people, and those black people who fought for civil rights were fighting for your rights as well. So
Right.
Black History Month doesn't necessarily mean the color of your skin, but what we stood for.
Right. How about you?
And I also believe that Black History Month, it brings, my opinion, it brings like us together because I know, as being a student at Edison, there are different segregations throughout the school. Like you have a group of Black people who hang out like on the amp, and you have other Black people like they hang everywhere else. Like they're not like together.
Right.
I feel like when we do, like for example, yesterday we did a Black History Month program on the amp where we had Theta Phi Theta from Fresno State come and do a step, and that actually
Awesome.
brought like us Black people together, and that like I haven't seen that in a really long time at
Right.
Edison.
That I've never seen that ever at Edison, I don't think. Another question I just want to ask: how do you guys? I want to jump back to your story, Jamila. You felt that it was that we focused more on other races more than our own race, and you've noticed that at a young age. And I can tell you that even me growing up in Fresno and going to Edison High School, that I still see that as well. We are like the last race to be looked upon. Do you guys feel that we are still that we're under the target, we're under the place that we should be? Do you guys feel that way as well?
I think that everyone is fighting for equality, and it was brought to my attention by one student that she didn't think Black History Month was fair because it was highlighting only one race at a specific time.
Wow. And what was your response to that, if you don't mind me asking?
My response was to that, well, these Black people fought for you to sit next to me. And
Wow.
these Black people fought for you to actually learn in this classroom because you are a minority yourself. And Black history isn't my history.
Right.
It is my history, but it's your history as well. It's part of American history.
Right.
Wow.
Do you guys feel, in a way, that to me it seems like it would hurt a little bit to see, even as a young age, that this is while our grandparents and great-grandparents and so on fought for us to be able to go to school with multi-race and was able to fight for us to sit anywhere on a bus and was able to do this and do that. And now we're still facing it here today. How do you think that we can change that? And that's an open question for you.
I think a way that we can change is just getting equal representation in like the government and like law. I think that as we don't have a lot of Black politicians, we don't have a lot of Black law enforcement, like head, Secretary of State, like big people in the government. We don't have a lot of those people. So I feel like if we had equal representation, like high class people or high statistic people, then I think we would do good as a nation, because we're having people that represent us. And, you know, that's the problem that we had in the past in the government. There was people that didn't represent us, so they couldn't talk about issues that face us. And that's what I think is a lot of the problems within the government. They're speaking on issues that don't even affect us. And it just leads to a lot of problems, like, within our society. You know?
Absolutely. Do you guys have anything to say?
And another thing, like, what I think is important, like, for, like, us, like, our group of African American people, in order for us to get something done, we need to come together first, because that's the big ultimate thing, because there's other races that think that African American people can never come together. Like, they always think that we're fighting, trying to diss each other, but we need to come together. I believe that would be a good solution, and if we come together, we can be powerful and fight hard.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I think that as everyone says, we're supposed to be unified, and as we see other races help each other, I feel like we do push each other to where we may not even want to help each other. And do you guys notice that as well as you're growing up too?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know that I'm a resident of West Fresno, and I don't know if you guys, I think you guys are too. We didn't go into that. But I think that you guys definitely can see, going to school in West Fresno, that there is still trouble that we just need to fix. And how do you guys feel like, with Edison being in West Fresno, how do you guys see the difference that you guys are treated compared to other schools?
Oh, a lot of different. It's a lot of, I think, discrimination within Edison and other schools. They don't prioritize Edison, and I don't think they've really ever prioritized Edison, even before we were there. There's other schools that have got new pools and a new stadium. I mean, Sunnyside, they just were established and they got a new stadium, and Edison's been a school for so long, and we haven't even got anything, so they don't prioritize us.
And I mean, not to cut you off, but I feel like even when I graduated, I'm so happy that we have that brand new building there, and I believe that building, if you guys didn't know, that building actually was number 18 as one of the nicest buildings in the entire world, and that's huge for Edison, having that brand new building there. And I'm just grateful for that we can actually be able to see that. And now I'm going to actually let Eric Payne, our other guest host, Mr. Eric Payne, trustee of State Center Community College District Area 2, he's going to come back, and he's actually going to ask you guys some questions on HBCUs, and you guys are going to be watching a video real quick on HBCUs.
Hi, my name is Sam Paschal. I'm the Associate Dean at Howard University School of Business, and I love HBCU.
Graduated 91, came in 87. Florida A&M, Rattlers in the house. My most memorable moment is pledging Alpha Kappa Alpha, going over March 17th, 1989. The first trip I took with my sorors was Atlanta game. Wasn't my first time in Atlanta, but it was the first time as an adult. And went to the football game, didn't know where we were gonna stay, scraped up our money to get there, but it was a road trip of a lifetime. About 20 of us went down together, had the best time, had no idea how we were gonna get back, but hey, we made it, good time, live to talk about it.
And then how did that affect you guys' relationship?
Oh, like I said, we're here 20 years later, we're still friends. Two of my best girlfriends are two of my line sisters that I didn't know. before I pledge, so that's perfect.
This is Keisha Oliver Meekins, proud alumni of Howard University, class of a while back ago. Just wanted to say big ups to Howard University, made me the woman that I am today. It was the best 4 years of my life, and I wouldn't change a thing.
I'm Oscar Joyner, the president of Reach Media. I'm also a proud 98 graduate of FAMU.
And your brother went to?
Howard University. Parents, Tuskegee University. Grandparents, FAMC, Florida A&M College in 1939, and Tennessee State. Great-grandparents went to Claflin and Meharry. So I'm a fourth-generation HBCU grad, proud to say.
HBCUs in general don't have the resources that a predominantly white college would have, but you can possibly get the same education that you would get. It's just that not just companies but people look down their noses at HBCUs as, you know, who do you have that graduated from there? But if you, I mean, just look at the history of all HBCUs, of, you know, the graduates that's come out of, you know, those schools.
HBCUs make significant contributions with every graduating class, not only to our economy, but to the world in which we live in. And so it's not a question of relevance, of their presence, but it's a question of, will the world begin to give credit to the significant contributions that graduates of HBCUs have made to the world for which we know today?
HBCUs are still, supremely important in terms of what they can do for instilling this sense of confidence, instilling this sense of acceptance of who you are, as a person, as an African American, if you are an African American, and even as white students. I think that the information that they can get and just the interaction in a experience of being a minority, I think, is good for white students also, because it just allows for a different perspective. I hope that over time HBCUs can get more support.
We're back with our Speak Up Central Valley Youth Forum. We have our participants here today, and in our conversation today, we're going to be discussing historical Black colleges and universities. I myself am an HBCU graduate, and I'm very connected to that community. And so in this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the historical context of HBCUs and how they were they're traditionally founded in the South, like Alabama, Virginia. There are over 105 historical Black colleges and universities across the country, and they represent 3% of higher educational institutions in the nation. And so most of your bachelor degree obtaining African American students represent 23% of those students that attend HBCUs, and 13% of all master degrees for African American students are obtained at historical Black colleges and university. An interesting tidbit that I found fascinating was that over half of all of the Congressional Black Caucus members in our country have attended a historical Black college or university. So the ties really do run deep in terms of the opportunities that are provided for our students at historical Black colleges and universities. And I think that being a California native, it's important that we educate ourselves on the opportunities for higher education, and I really want to hear from each of you, your perspective, being seniors, getting ready to graduate and move out into the world. What are your thoughts on historical Black colleges, and what does your transition look like after high school?
I will be attending a historically Black college. I chose to do that because I've never been in an all-Black environment. I've always been surrounded by a large population of Latinos and Asians, but never really all Black. I believe my biggest like African American population in the class was 8 kids, and that's including like PE, which is like includes 50 kids. And I feel like I represent my African American people, my Black people, and if I can't learn from them, then how can I help them? As well as going to Edison and being the only Black student in a class, in an AP class, you start to wonder, where are all the educated Black people? I can't be the only one. So that's why I'm choosing to go to a historically Black college.
Now, what college are you considering going to?
I'm considering Tuskegee and Alabama A&M.
All right. Curry, tell us about your experience.
And I will also be attending an HBCU. I've always, ever since I was in middle school, I would say around 7th grade, I've always had this dream of attending an historically Black college university. And that's because it's been introduced to me at a young age. And I've always had a passion of being a Black person and achieving my goals in higher education. And I honestly believe that by doing that is going to a HBCU. I honestly feel that if I go to HBCU, then I will benefit way more than attending a school here in California.
Okay.
And also, I will be attending the HBCU. I'm looking at Prairie View A&M University in Texas. The main reason why I chose to go to HBCU was not only because I wanted to be around African American people, but I wanted to figure out where my history was from. And in HBCUs, they give you that opportunity to not only study your major, but also study your African American heritage. And I think that is very important as a young person to know like where you came from and how you could benefit society. And I think it's just a great opportunity, and I think anybody should be interested in going to HBCU.
All right. Now, how were you exposed to HBCUs? Being from California, was it family? Was it friends? Was it teachers? Did you do your own self-study? I mean, what were your influences?
When I was 7, my father told me I was going to Spelman, and I believed him until I got into high school and started doing my own research. And I, as well as Ariane and Kyrie, took a historically Black college tour and toured D.C., Virginia, and North Carolina, and I fell in love.
Oh, wow.
It was love at first sight.
Wow.
Well, my first HBCU choice was Morehouse, and that's because it was an all-boys school. And when I was younger, I used to always believe that if I'm being surrounded by women, that I won't focus enough on my schoolwork. But as I've got older and as I've gone through high school, now my choice for HBCU is North Carolina A&T State University in North Carolina.
All right, what were some of your influences?
My influences was definitely, like how Jamila had mentioned, was the HBCU tour. I really didn't really know HBCUs in elementary school. I mean, middle school is when I started to learn the HBCUs, and the tour with Gloria Ponce Rodriguez, former Norfolk State University alumni. She just gave us a great opportunity about HBCUs, and it got me out of my comfort level. And staying in California, you don't really want to leave, but being on the tour, it gave me an opportunity to pursue a HBCU.
Now, in terms of your major, what were things that you looked for at each of those respective institutions in terms of what you want to do when you get there, what you want to major in, and what are your future goals after that?
Well, when looking into Tuskegee, they have a great science program. They actually graduate 75% of the United States' veterinary credit universities that give doctorates in a veterinary degree. So I was looking for a great school with sciences. I would like to be a computer science major. I haven't decided either on computer science or political science.
Okay.
I want to, once I graduate college, I want to come back to my community and be a city councilman a woman or a person that works for the Chamber of Commerce, something political.
I love it.
I believe. Okay. Take Eric's job.
Oh, but and that's an option too. It'll be waiting for you when you get back.
Well, I plan on majoring in criminal justice and psychology because I feel that I witness violence, gangs, and basically criminal stuff that has to deal with like jail. I've always had this passion of helping those African American people who are in trouble. So my plan is to double major in those two, and to become a correctional counselor in a prison.
Wow, that's good. Ari, what about you?
Definitely my major would be business. I think that a lot of African Americans don't really have businesses, and I've always had a dream to open up my own business and be a CEO and run my business, and I think that'd be a great opportunity because small businesses are not really ran by African Americans, and I think that having a business can help out my community.
Wow, you guys are really driven. I love the conversation that we're having here, and I definitely want to hear more of your perspective as we move into our next segment with Taylor, where they'll be discussing the Michael Dunn trial and some of the gun laws that are facing Florida. So stay tuned.
Taylor Kimber, and we're back here on ONME Sunday Mornings, and I'm here back with these lovely youth people who speak up, Central Valley Youth Forum, and we're back here, and we're going to talk about we're going to get a little deep into this. I actually hate talking about this topic, but it's needed to be discussed. The Michael Dunn trial. I'm just going to jump right in. As we know, Michael Dunn, how do you guys feel about this?
When I first saw the trial, I thought it was exactly similar to the Trayvon Martin,
right?
The Trayvon Martin case, and it shocked me.
What shocked you the most? Was it because it was another African American young male, or did it shock you just because it was in Florida? A lot of people have different opinions about it. A lot of people have different, why I feel this way about it. And how do you two feel? Maybe how do you two feel about it?
Well, I feel that it has shocked me also because it happened in the same state as the Trayvon Martin case.
Exactly.
In this show your grounds law, I just feel that law is targeted to us minorities. Like that's just how I feel like the system is set up this way.
The stand your ground law. Mm-hmm. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, and I believe that law states that it's that you're able to defend yourself at any cause, at any right. And I feel that you're defending yourself against an African American, and I think that you guys are perfectly showing the example that everyone else should see, especially out here in the Valley. You guys are smart, talented, bright futures ahead, and you guys are African American, and that's something that just shocks America for some reason, and shocks even our Valley, that there's African Americans who don't believe in this and actually have beliefs in going to college and getting a degree and going forward with that. And I think that this is something that needs to be addressed, especially for the state of Florida. I feel like there is no education background there at all about even what African American is capable of. We have a president who's African American, and yet we still get the racism comments. We still get this and that. How do you feel about it?
I think it's kind of like a wake-up call because it happened in the past, and we fought for it with Trayvon Martin, and we thought it was wrong, and case it led for a long time, and then for this to happen, it's kind of like, okay, African Americans, we need to get together, we need to fight what's right. It's not right that he was murdered, and it's not right that Trayvon was too. And so I think it's just a wake-up call. Like, when things happen like this in our society and it affects not just African Americans but youth African Americans like us, it's something that we need to do about it, because if it's happening again, it's going to happen again, and we can't just let things like this happen.
I agree with that 100%. What were you going to say?
One thing that I wanted to add is to look at the facts. An unarmed, in both situations, Trayvon Martin in this case, an unarmed teenager was murdered.
Right.
Murdered. There's unarmed. How do you defend? How do you say, okay, he's attacking me?
Right.
And this child was a child, and he was attacked because of his loud music, his thug music, which is the wife had stated, who was in the car. It was the thug music that her husband did not like. It was a stereotype. This child was stereotyped.
And I believe that personally, me being only 21 years old, I could never even imagine, and I'm sure you guys can too, I can never imagine how a parent feels about seeing this happen in America today, where we send our children out, our parents send us out. They believe we're safe. They believe that the community has our backs. They believe that if there's security will protect us and need it. And yet we have to have that fear now of where, oh no, we don't want to get hurt ourselves. And do you think that this right here, even though we took Trayvon, we took it far, we hope now that there is a message out to African Americans all over. But do you think that there's some more work to be done?
I feel that way. I was talking to one of my teachers at school, and he told me that, Jamila, it's scary because I had to tell my son, you can't walk fast and you can't walk slow, and you have to
can't be suspicious.
You can't be suspicious. You can't look suspicious. And it's scary to know that there's this separate set of rules in place for you because you're African American.
How do you feel about that, especially because you're an African American male? And these are two young African American males who could have been your, just like you. How do you feel about that?
It's scary because when I was growing up in a low-income neighborhood, I had to walk to school every day. And when I was walking to school every day, I had to face, all this, negativity. And just to, even think about this, it's, tragic. I can't even, picture myself walking in general, and then having someone come up to me accusing me of doing something, and then try to kill me. I couldn't even imagine it at all. It's tragic.
Outrage. I see it like this. I look at it. I have young cousins, and even I have a younger brother as well. And even though he lives in another state, I fear for his life growing up now, especially just because of what's happened in Florida. And it's crazy that it happened in Florida twice. This is nothing new. And I just want to go into a fact real quick that I quoted from CNN, Natasha Curry. She's a actual reporter. She actually said that one or more juries bought Dunn's claim that he was acting in self-defense. And the jury, only one juror disagreed with that. Everyone else agreed that he was in self-defense. The one juror that did kind of split the vote, and it messed up the whole entire case. And that's what a lot of analysts were saying, what happened? What happened with the jury? What was going on? Why again? Why do we have another repeat of this? And I believe this is total outrage, and I'm sickened. I truly am. How do you guys think that this is going to affect Fresno? Do you think that Fresno do you think that Fresno needs to now? We are a small population here in Fresno. We are growing. Do you think that we need to speak up more Do you believe that we should do more, get involved more with that this has happened, or should we still stay on the quiet back burn like we've been doing?
I think we should definitely get involved and let our voices be heard, because that's one of the things that happen. They feel like they want us to be quiet. They don't want us to talk, obviously. If they want us to just sit there and not say anything about something that can affect us. And so even though Fresno is a small population, if we join together with other cities and other states, we can talk about the problems and come together, and maybe we'll see some type of change.
What changes would you guys like to see? I just want to I know that this is a huge issue. What changes do you guys want to see? At the top of your head, what is one thing you would like to see?
I would like to see a change in the system, because I personally feel that the system is created this way to target us African American people, especially African American males.
What about you, Jamila?
I want to see a difference in our high schools, especially involving restorative justice. I don't want our kids to be kicked out of our schools. I think there should be alternatives to students who have behavior problems in school. Suspension is never the way, and I really would like to see that in our high school.
Absolutely, I understand that a lot. I agree with that.
I would like to speak for West Fresno 93706. I would like to see a lot of changes. I would like to see stores built, small businesses. A lot of the small businesses in West Fresno, they either been there for like a couple of years and they leave, or they're not strong businesses, black businesses. And so I'm really for our black businesses, and I want to see West Fresno grow as an area, because a lot of people see it as a disgrace, but it's really a beautiful place and a beautiful community, and I wish others would view it as one.
All right, well, I am so happy. I think that when we hear we're worried about our generations, you guys definitely make me feel great about my generation. I definitely see bright futures with you guys. I'm Taylor Kimber once again, and this was our wrap-up for the evening, and I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. And our Speak Up Valley Youth Forum, I'm so happy that you guys were on here today from Edison High School, Jamila, Kyrie, and Ariane, and I'm so happy that you guys are here from Edison High School. And our guest, we cannot forget him, Eric Payne, trustee of State Center Community District Area 2, and I'm very happy that he was able to come on as well. And we're going to be doing this once every month, and I hope to have you guys back on, and Eric as well. And I'm very looking forward to speaking with you guys again soon. Thank you.